Welcome to the Work, Wealth, and Travel podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, and this podcast is your guide to start creating a lifestyle by design. From entrepreneurship, money and finance, taxes and residencies, and everything in between, this show highlights the nuances of a true global citizen lifestyle. Let's dive in. I've been traveling full-time as a global citizen for the past 8+ years. I've been to various countries in almost all of the continents across the globe, specifically Europe, Asia, and South America. In this video, I'm going to dive into the top 5 places that I have seen that are not only great for digital nomads, but also for those expats and those global citizens who are looking to live in one country full-time or almost full-time and to start building out a lifestyle there. Now, not every country is a good place for this. However, there are a few that stand out. So let's dive into what these options could look like for you. Now, for me, I have various different factors to determine if I could live in a certain country longer term. So these factors revolve around community, both the locals and what the expat community is like if they are business and entrepreneurial minded. The food, of course, is a big aspect. If, for example, you don't eat meat, then there are going to be certain countries around the globe where it's going to be very tricky for you to eat out and dine out at all. Of course, integration into the local culture is important, especially if you are staying for more than a few months in said country. So here are my top 5 countries where you can build a true lifestyle abroad. And a special honorary mention to the last option on this list, because so many of our clients are loving this option with a 1 day per year easy residency that can lead to citizenship in the future. 2 resources I recommend before diving into this list is nomadlist.com and numbeo.com. These are 2 great resources where Nomad List can help you compare various different categories in a city to another city. You have community, you have expats, you have weather, and you even have internet speed and food quality. The next website is Numbeo, and Numbeo will help you compare granular costs. So the cost of a taxi in one country or city versus another, and you can side by side compare these 2 costs of livings in these different countries and see which is going to be the best option for you. So let's dive in with my number 5 recommendation for longer term expat living, and this is Thailand. So Thailand is one of my favorite countries, if not my absolute favorite country out there. Bangkok is a huge city. If you love city life, then Bangkok is the place for you. The nice thing about Thailand is that it has various different city sizes and also different climates. So if you want cooler weather, you can go to the north, to Chiang Mai. There's also a really great digital nomad community there if you are building a business online and want to network with like-minded entrepreneurs. You can also head to the south, where they have beautiful Phuket. There are, of course, quite a few tourists in Thailand. It is only becoming increasingly popular with our clients and expats. And of course, there's also the option for the Thai Elite Visa, along with other visa options. But this is a great visa if you are looking to stay longer term, although you do have to have some considerable net worth or money to put behind this visa. So Thailand, one of my favorite countries and my favorite cuisine on the planet, is topping the list at number 5. So the next country is Portugal. If you have looked into expat life, you have probably heard or seen Portugal on one of these lists. Now, Portugal has a high quality of life for expats. And a con to this is that now many of the locals are unfortunately rejecting expats and wanting expats, digital nomads, to leave the country due to various housing and gentrification issues. It is a very safe country and has a great quality of life for retirement. And it also has a very reliable quality of healthcare. Healthcare, if that is something that is important to you, there are certain continents around the world that are going to be better in terms of healthcare and a longer lifespan. And Europe is definitely one of these places. I would not recommend South America, for example, if you're looking for top tier quality healthcare in most countries. Of course, this cannot be stated for every single country in a continent. In terms of banking in Portugal, it's quite easy to open a non-resident bank account, and we can assist with this. There are some steps that you will need to acquire before just heading on to open a bank account, but this can be done in person or remotely. Reach out to us. The links are below if you're interested in learning more, not only about global banking and not specific to only Portugal, but if you are looking for additional residencies, citizenships, or just to find what options you have if you're looking to relocate, whether part-time or full-time abroad. Now, Portugal also has the new and improved NHR program. So in the past, you could purchase real estate in Portugal in order to qualify, but that has now come off the table. They have revamped the NHR program. It starts at 500,000 USD, and we work with various partners where you can invest in some very interesting funds if you are looking to take advantage of the Portuguese NHR program, where there's a very minimal days requirement each year. You get residency, and then you work your way toward citizenship, and you have a low tax rate. So if you're interested in living in sunny Europe year-round, then Portugal could be the place for you. Number 3 on the list, we have Mexico. Like Portugal, you've probably heard of Mexico for expat living. I have family-in-law who are from Mexico. Therefore, I get to see not only the authentic Mexican way of living, but of course also integrating with the gringos, as they say here in Mexico. So a nice benefit of Mexico, of course, is that it is geographically quite close to the US and to Canada, which is why there are so many expats or snowbirds in Mexico. A positive aspect is that you can experience a completely different culture, food, people, way of living simply by crossing the border. If you're in the US, in Canada, it is not going to be a far trip for you to experience a completely different way of living. Now, my personal opinion, having traveled to most of Latin America, having been from the West, lived, raised, and born there, left almost a decade ago, and now spend quite a bit of time in Latin America. One interesting aspect that I have personally noticed is that Mexico is quite developed and westernized if you're comparing it to the rest of South America. So once you go south of Mexico, with perhaps a few exceptions, such as a Panama, you will find that it is a much different way of living, and especially when it comes to the everyday conveniences. So Mexico does have Walmart. They have Costco. They have these stores and infrastructure that are more similar to Western culture, to Canada, to America, that you may be more used to if you come from a Western culture. However, once you go south of Mexico, that is going to be very difficult to find. You're likely going to be going to a local tienda, a local market, and you're going to be getting your grocery shop that way. It's not going to be a membership like Costco, where you can buy absolutely everything in bulk and stock up for the month.
Are you interested in becoming a global citizen and living a lifestyle by design in a country that aligns with you? If this is a lifestyle that you're seeking to create, we can help. Whether it be multiple residencies, citizenships, bank accounts, trust or company formations, we operate in 30 plus of the most tax-friendly jurisdictions around the globe to get you structured properly. Head to the link in the show notes to learn more and to get your global citizen journey underway today.
Now, in terms of residency, Mexico does have a very interesting residency option. If you're interested in learning more, reach out to us below. Our link is below, where you can shoot us an email, and we are happy to guide you through what the residency process in Mexico looks like. And then, of course, with the residency, you can also work your way to citizenship. Now, a caveat with the residency is there are a few different ways to qualify. Due to the elections in 2024 in Mexico, this may change. If you are interested in getting in on potential residency programs that you may not be aware of, but you may still qualify for before there are potential changes to these programs with the new government, which we are definitely expecting to happen, reach out to us below. We do a lot of work with clients in Mexico. We help purchase real estate with the residency, citizenship, and also bank account openings for residents as well. Now, a nice aspect when it comes to real estate in Mexico is that foreigners can own land. In most of the country, there are some exceptions, but for the most part, foreigners can own land just as any other Mexican citizen would. Number 2 on the list, we have Paraguay. We talk a lot about Paraguay on this channel. Definitely check out the Paraguay playlist if you're interested in living or getting residency in Paraguay. But Paraguay is number 2 on the list because it has a really great slow-paced lifestyle. If you're not looking for big city living, if you're looking for a slow, relaxed lifestyle, then Paraguay and the capital, Asuncion, could definitely be the option for you. It's great for retirement if you are looking for that quieter lifestyle, but it's also just a great place to relax and potentially even have one of your bases. And it's not a far trip to Buenos Aires, which is a completely different lifestyle, definitely big city living there. So many products in supermarkets are made either in the country of Paraguay or in close by countries. This is something that I notice every time I walk into a supermarket in Paraguay is that a lot of the products are local. They are locally sourced. So this is a nice feel because while it is a small country, you don't have national conglomerates who are taking over the food industry. So this is nice to see when comparing to the West. Now, Paraguay is a very meat-based country, as is Argentina, as is many of the countries in this region of the world. But if you are not a meat eater, I will say it can be quite tricky to find a satiating meal. Paraguay also does have a quite affordable cost of living. If you are looking in a good, safe area for a newer apartment with modern appliances, you're going to be looking anywhere from $700 to $1,200 USD per month for a one bedroom. Of course, there are exceptions where in certain areas of the city, it can definitely be much lower than $700, but I would not recommend that for expats. And depending on if you're looking for additional bedrooms, washing machines, pools, saunas, the amenities that you're looking for in an apartment, it could fall into this range or potentially be somewhat more. Now, Paraguay is also a great option to not only buy land, you can build a house, you can buy ranches, you can buy a farm, and of course, they have a great residency program. Don't forget to check out the video linked above if you're interested in learning more about Paraguay residency. It is a territorial tax system, meaning that you are only taxed on money and income that is made in the country of Paraguay. They are not concerned about what you are making outside of the country. So this is a nice contrast to most countries out there. However, the citizenship is difficult. So this is not a route that I recommend if you're looking to gain an additional citizenship in the long term, but it is a great backup residency option that can be used to pay low or no tax. If you are interested in learning more about this option, reach out to us below. Number 1 on the list is Uruguay. Now, Uruguay has a very quiet lifestyle similar to Paraguay, although it is a much smaller country. Again, it's great for retirees. It's very well developed, and it is the first world country of Latin America. Now, they also have very beautiful beaches in the summer, and you'll want to go to Punta del Este if you are interested in relaxing on the beach in November, December, January. This is where you're going to want to be. Are you a global citizen or digital nomad? One of the most difficult parts of this lifestyle is not being surrounded with a like-minded community. I've personally struggled with this, and most global citizens have as well. But now there's a simple solution. Fairytrail is the ultimate app for digital nomads, remote workers, and even van lifers. Whether you're a solo traveler, a couple, or a family, Fairytrail helps you connect with like-minded adventurers. 93% of the Fairytrail community are fully remote or aspiring to be. And for being a podcast listener, use the code WORKWEALTHTRAVEL for a free lifetime membership for a limited time. Download the Fairytrail app today on the App Store or Google Play Store and get connected with your like-minded community worldwide. There are major cities in Uruguay, but likely you're going to be spending time between Montevideo, which is the capital, or Punta del Este. Now, they do have a direct-to-PR residency option. This is nice because most countries will have a temporary residence first, and then that will lead into permanent residence. However, in Uruguay, you do have to meet certain qualifications. Of course, you have to bring certain documentation into the country to get the process underway. But the nice aspect of this process is that you will go direct to PR. So likely within less than a year's time frame, and this does vary depending on bureaucratic wait times. There are some stipulations, so if you're interested in getting Uruguay residency, reach out to us below and we can help with that entire process from A to Z. You do need to be in the country to get the process underway, but it will lead directly into permanent residence. Now, citizenship is possible, but it does take some time and you will have to live in that country, really integrate into that country, into the society, know your neighbors, have friends, have acquaintances there. So this is by no means a simple, straightforward citizenship path, although the residency is a great option for many. So Uruguay is a higher cost of living, one of the higher price points to live in all of Latin America. So this is not the place that you will be looking for if you're looking for a very affordable place to live, but there are some rentals, of course, that you can find for housing that are lower price points. However, overall, it is a higher cost of living, but there are some favorable tax laws in Uruguay where you can potentially get either 11 years at a 0% taxation rate or 7% lifetime taxation. Now, there are some stipulations on the income that this applies to. So if you're interested in taking advantage of either 0% or 7% tax rate, and the 7% is just flat lifetime tax rate, reach out to us below. We're happy to facilitate and see if you would be able to qualify for this based on your income. Now, the government of Uruguay is always looking to bring new expats into the country, and so that is why this scheme exists for the low taxation rate. And a nice perk of obtaining residency in Uruguay is that once you have the residency, you have 6 months to bring household items into the country duty-free and get your life set up in Uruguay. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there is a country that I want to mention as well as an honorary mention, and that is the country of Panama. Now, there are many foreigners and expats taking advantage of not only a beautiful country, beautiful beaches, but also a favorable tax rate in Panama. Panama is also a territorial tax system where you are taxed on the income solely made within the country and not outside of the country, like how most countries will operate. So there is an ease of setting up residency and tax residency where you have a very minimal days requirement to obtain residency and tax residency while staying in the country only a few days per year. It is a low cost formation, and then it also allows for both personal and business banking. So if you're interested in obtaining a great residency and tax residency without any physical time on the ground, reach out to us below. We have various interesting options that we've been working with many of our clients to get Panamanian residency. And no, you do not need to purchase real estate. Currently, through the Friendly Nations visa, you can obtain residency and tax residency by purchasing $300,000 worth of real estate in Panama. However, that amount is going to be going up to $500,000 or $500,000 by the end of 2024 in order to obtain residency with a real estate purchase via the Friendly Nations visa in Panama. So if you do qualify for the Friendly Nations visa, but you're not ready to invest either that amount of money or you're not looking to purchase property in Panama, you do have other options and we can help with this. If you're interested in learning more about any of the options above and getting the process underway, reach out to us. Our links are below. Don't forget to hit to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. You've just listened to the Work, Wealth, and Travel podcast. If anything from this episode resonated with you, I would appreciate if you share this podcast on your socials. And of course, be sure to tag me. And don't forget to leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you for joining me on this global citizen journey, and I'll see you in the next episode.